everybody, welcome to the Cantina. I'm here with Mook and myself, the chemist.
Hello.
Right, so everyone, we got quite the interesting program for you this week. We've had two really good Friday updates, and we decided we wanted to talk about them.
Friday update.
Friday update, indeed.
I was just trying to make it a bit more,
Yeah, more dramatic, add more drama to it. Right. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is companion characters, and I thought you had something to say about that, Chris?
Well, I was just quite impressed with the sudden barrage of information on it, because it was quite, should I say, lacking information how the whole system was going to work, really. I always assumed it would probably be like their other games where they've had companions, like Dragon Age and stuff like that, which they've kind of just announced it is. But it's nice to know, it's like, it's almost as if everyone gets a pet as opposed to someone getting an uncontrollable headless chicken, because that's how what I was worrying it was going to be like. Like, there's nothing worse than when your pet runs off and starts aggroing stuff and you have no control and they start throwing down AoEs which piss everything off, and it's just like, But they've finally announced that none of that's going to happen, which is good. Very, very good.
That is wonderful indeed. But yeah, I mean, personally myself, one of the biggest issues I had with companion characters is that I felt that they might not have a role in the game. As we know, they will not be allowed to enter PvP battlegrounds. The question is if they're going to be allowed to be brought into open world battlegrounds, as some have rumored that they have in the game. And if they are, how is this going to impact combat? I mean, for me, it's going to be an immersion breaker if you have 100 versus 100 and you see a shit tons of Chem Vals and shit tons of these little T7 droid, shit tons of Vetas and etc. It's just absolutely going to ruin it with customization.
It's going to be freaking awesome.
No, it's going to be absolutely retarded. So, personally myself, I would honestly hope that they restrict companion characters in zones where PvP is highly likely. Obviously, you can't do it all over the place because, you know, after Tatooine at this point, everybody are going to be sharing on the same planet. So
just face it, you're scared you're going to get beaten by an NPC. That's what it's going to be.
I have to be honest with you.
A little PvP god running around, and all of a sudden this.
Yeah, you know, as a PvP god, you always fear your offspring. You know, kind of like Susan Hercules. But no, I just don't want to die on the account of someone's companion character. If it happens, then it happens, and it's out of my hands. I can't control it. I have to prepare myself and adapt to it.
It's no different between getting killed by a hunter's pet.
It is different because a hunter has a pet, and you know a hunter has a pet, and you know exactly what a hunter pet can do. Kill, command, and charge. You're not really worried.
No, they can also do tricks.
Oh, wow, tricks.
Can they do tricks? I know they do tricks in SWG.
Look, I don't know. You know, the female Twi'lek, they have to be able at least to dance. Otherwise, it would be a huge slide towards the Star Wars saga.
Well, if they don't, where am I ever going to make my money whoring myself or my companions out?
You could always sell yourself like you did in Galaxies. That always works.
Shh, don't mention that. The one specific customer had a foot fetch. He paid very well.
That is disgusting. Let's move on. But yeah. One of the second Friday updates they brought to us is a video on Jedi Knight versus the Bounty Hunter. And we thought, since there's a lot of information released on these two classes' abilities, how they function, their in-game purpose and such, I thought we'd talk about it and shed some light on the subject. Now, for this little thing, I am going to be talking about the Jedi Knight, and Chris will be talking about the Bounty Hunter, and hopefully he knows enough about the class, and if he doesn't, I will simply interject.
All I know is they get flamethrowers, and that's all that fucking matters.
That's all that fucking matters.
That is all that matters in life.
That's all that matters. Well, Jedi Knights in themselves are really cool. They are absolutely the melee masters. Their versatility when it comes to melee moves are unparalleled. There's so many different things they can do with their saber, not just straight up damage. That is just so wrong. You did not think about that. They're not silver bullets.
Really childish.
But no, they can do a lot of things. You know, they can break armor. They can dot up. They can slow. They can even throw the saber. You can throw your saber in Star Wars: The Old Republic, which looks immensely cool. They have charge, they have slows, they have this really cool combo move called the Master Strike that just runs through a series of attacks and just absolutely blows the shit out of it.
But on the other hand, you've got all of this and you think it's great, but for it to be a viable character, they've got to stay up in your face, constantly wailing on you. And as everybody knows, well, I'd say 99% of people know, if you've ever watched any Star Wars film, Boba Fett being a bounty hunter, because that's what everyone like imagines bounty hunters are going to be like, which I imagine they are as well. He's gadget ridden. He can stop people in their tracks, use nets, cables, ties, flamethrowers, anything to stop that person getting near him in the first place. Jetpacks, rocket launchers. People always seem to assume that Jedi are infallible, which is far from the case.
They're not. They're not.
The thing in the movies, you only ever see the best of the best. Whereas bounty hunters tend to be quite good at what they do.
But the thing about in the Old Republic that everybody has to take into account is that you're not just a nobody. Everybody's not a nobody. Everybody is the best of the best. So essentially, when you're fighting another bounty hunter, this is Obi-Wan versus Jango Fett, and as anybody who's seen the movies, that was not a random fight. That was a long drawn fight, and it actually ended on a draw. Depends on how you look at it, of course. Some might say that Obi-Wan got owned, but not a discussion for another time. The key element in when you play against the gadget class is gadget classes have a variety of moves. Let's just go ahead and say 4. They have 4 stoppers that allows them to reset the fight and get the fighting back on their turns. Knowing that that's how your enemy's going to play, you can prepare for this. You can intentionally provoke these stoppers earlier, and then the bounty hunter will be playing on your terms. If you decide when he stops you, if you play on the right terms, then in itself, a bounty
So
hunter...
I was just imagining him playing with his saber on his terms. I'm sorry, I'm in one of those moods today.
Oh God! Apparently his girlfriend stopped him from sex last night. Don't mind it. Sorry, Lucy. Anyhow, if you can plan for these attacks, you can beat the bounty hunter. And in itself, I'd say that Star Wars: The Old Republic have decent balance from what I've seen and from what I've read. I can't divulge any further than that without breaking a lot of rules. But you don't be worried, guys. So far, no Tempest of Set, just in case anybody played AOC.
What do you mean? They could cast constant storms and rape absolutely everything that walked within about a 10-mile radius of it.
Yeah, that was fair.
That class wasn't overpowered.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. It was balanced.
I went and rolled a rogue, which was a brilliant idea.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant idea.
Great idea.
Anyway, getting off subject. Actually, I just want to cover one more thing quickly.
Fair enough. Go on.
I just wanted to ask, what do you think, because I've been reading a lot into this and watching a couple of videos and stuff, what do you think, is it worth, or was it worth their development time and stuff putting in space combat?
You see, this is a powerful subject. It is a good subject, but it is a subject that I have to be really careful divulging into. But what I will say is, I feel that it was a good addition. I feel that it was a fun addition. I feel it was a venting edition. So,
but was it just to appease? Was it just to appease people that kept going space combat without actually doing a fully fledged, open plan?
Maybe. I personally, the way I want to look at it is, I don't want to look at the motives for them adding them. I would want to look at the why. And some might say, well, motives and why are the same thing. No, they're really not. Motives is what fuels you to do it. Why is why you did it in the first place. So why did they do it? Well, one might say that they did it because of pressure from the community, like you said, people wanted space combat. Some might say they did it because they had excess time, which they did in their development schedule. They used some really, really advanced software to schedule all the development.
Excess money.
And excess money could also be it. And some might say, well, it's something. The way I want to look at it is the why that I want to, the classification of the why that I want to give it is that they wanted to add something to blow off some steam. Let's just imagine for a minute that you've been raped in Battlegrounds. You've been raped in an instance, and you can't take no more. You just
I'd be happy with the moment.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to look at your character anymore. You just want to go up and have some combat that is non-consequential. There's nobody really around you, and it's just fun, fast, and action-based. That's what space combat is.
I'm still waiting to see if it. I'd like to see if it actually affects your character in any way. And I know people can't talk about it, but that is one thing really.
Well, there's something I can say.
It's just a way of venting, like a way of, like, say, getting away from it, or if it's actually going to serve a purpose. Or do your companions join in? Oh my god, tying it into the first subject. See how flawless that was?
That was pretty flawless.
That was flawless.
Neat,
flawlessly
mate.
crap.
Neat, mate.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they had any play in it, like, because in all the films and in SWG, you always had your little. People could go in your little extra gun slots on your ship and help you out. That'd be pretty badass if they done that.
That could be a possibility. I foresee them expanding on space a lot. This is a whim implementation. Excuse me.
Oh no, he's gonna give AIDS to everyone.
Oh god, no. Immortal virus. Oh shit, sorry, Patrick. um, little guilt joke, he'll
If
get
you
it.
see anyone called Immortal Virus running around, kick him in the nuts.
Yes,
Or just give them abuse.
Indeed.
Saying,
Abuse.
So apparently you're AIDS, are you? Anyway.
Or a really violent strain of Ebola. But anyhow,
That's all I want to know, ask about space.
yeah, but I think that in the future they can expand on it, and they've already talking about adding guild capital ships further in the game as a sort of a place, something a guild can aspire to, something a guild can develop and design on, and we're going to see how that works. I think the way space is right now is quite simple. I don't think it serves any other purpose than just a vent. But one thing for sure is they will expand on it. Stay tuned.
That would be bloody good if they do. And again, sorry that this was so late. AWOC's computer exploded.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna keep calling you AWOC. I'm never gonna get this right.
No, you probably won't, and that's going to cost me a lot of trouble. But hey,
life's a bitch.
Yes,
so
indeed.
that's why it was late this time. But we will have Wednesday's release on Wednesday, and if we don't, then I'm gonna chop off a testicle and auction it on eBay.
Indeed, and that hurts. Just in case nobody knew, that hurts. Chopping off your balls is not fun.
Thanks for listening, guys, because our views have gone up. It's been great, and more comments, more views, the merrier. So we'll speak to you again Wednesday.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. This was the Cantina, and as always, check out www.orbitguild.com.
Bitches.
Bitches!